Welcome to Some Good Tea, where we drink some tea and we share some tea. I am your host, Katie, and today I am sharing some tea with my friend Erin.
Hello! It's good to be back.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you back.
I'm excited to be back.
We are having some magical tea today that I've never had before. I was like absolutely over the moon. So my sister-in-law was in charge of my Christmas present this year, and she got me tea.
Of course.
I mean, like...
What a good gift for you,
though.
No, it's perfect for you.
And she found a tea company that's D&D and tea as well, so it's like perfect. This is the Elixir of Alchemy by the Steeping Dragon. And
such a cool name, too.
Know. And the little jar comes in so cool, and it has like a cool wax seal, like everything about it's super cool.
So fancy.
This tea is a butterfly pea flower tea that you can mix with an acid, and it will change color. So the tea is blue, and then when you mix it with an acid, like lemonade, it turns this lovely like pink. It's so cool. Mind
blown. Just like so cool how it happens.
It was pretty fun. I freaking love science. But anyway, I do not know if this tea is any good. But it is
I'm your guinea pig.
Yeah. So I mean, Steeping Dragon tea. I already love you just because of your product advertising, and it's just really cool, and science and D&D. But now we're gonna try it and see if it tastes good. That's nice. Wow, that's like summer.
That is summer.
That's
really good, actually.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's good, guys. It's really good.
I might just drink this whole thing.
Well, we have an entire pitcher of both lemonade and tea.
And tea, that's true.
So that we can, brew little cocktails. So we'll have plenty of...
That's really good.
Plenty of that. That is nice. It comes with a little... instruction thing that talks about how to get the color change and everything, and it has a suggestion to make it with a frosted lemonade and then pour it over the frosted lemonade so it slowly changes color.
That's cool.
I want to do that next, like in the summertime.
Yeah. We got time though.
When it's, 112 degrees instead of 65 like it is right now.
Yeah.
In the dead of winter.
Even 65 is really warm though, but anyways.
That was the joke. I'm not going to explain it, but that was the joke.
Okay. I clearly didn't pick up on that then.
No, not at all.
That's okay.
So, as per usual, we're going to be rolling a 20-sided dice to get a question from the 20 questions for our topic. And our topic today, I decided on yesterday. There's apparently been a lot of... there's been some recent research last year into what's being described as a friendship epidemic, that people are lonely. People are super lonely, and there's just not a lot of friendship going around. And so I was like, we need to talk about friendship. So we're going to be talking about friendships gained and lost and all the things in between today.
Wonderful. Great.
Aren't you so excited?
I'm so excited.
Gosh, this tea's good. Do you want to roll a dice?
I would love to. I want your lovely dragon scale dice.
Oh, they're really pretty.
That looks like an 18.
Oh, snap. Erin's always starting out strong.
I am a really good dice roller.
You are. Your question is, what environment seems the most conducive for cultivating friendship, in your opinion? There's places like work, school, clubs, parties, meeting random people at the park. But, where do you feel like is a good growing ground where you've made friendships?
I mean, most of my friendships I've made from work.
That's fair.
Not to name people specifically, but...
She gestures at me.
Yeah. I mean, some of my closest friends come from work, but, I feel like as a little kid, I feel like school is kind of the perfect place for that, because...
Well, that's where you live.
It's where it's where you live for 9 months out of the year.
Yeah.
So as a kid, first it would be school, but I feel like as an adult, you probably make the most friendships probably at your work environment, or if you go to social events like parties. I don't really make a habit of being super outgoing at parties. But I feel like that could be a good environment. But
a good place. But you feel like for you.
For me, I think it would be school.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. I feel like a lot of people could say that they have had the most of their friendships like in their childhood from meeting people at school or high school or even in college, because like you spend a lot of time, and where you spend a lot of time, you're gonna have a chance to get to know people more, etc., etc. I definitely feel that way for sure, but and then in work, I think work is can be great or not, right?
That's
like,
true, yeah.
There is the potential for it to be a really great place for you to make friendships, because if you're friends with the people that you work with, then work is pretty great. You know? It can be pretty great when you work with your friends, and like even if stressful things happen, if you're already friends, then like hopefully you weather it a little better. But we don't all have work environments like that. That's and I've definitely been in environments where, you know, it's not terrible, but it's not like, oh, I'm going to be friends with these people kind of vibe, you know? So I think it kind of depends on your work environment and also the nature of your work. But again, like you spend a lot of your time there, and you spend a lot of time with the people there, assuming that you work with people. And so it's only natural, I feel like, for humans to become at least acquainted with the people that they spend lots of time with.
Yeah, that's fair. I also was thinking about like moving out, like college age, like roommates and everything. Like I think that you're still good friends with like some of your roommates and some of your college friends that you've made like a while ago. Yeah. One of my closest friends was one of my roommates when I was only moved out for 3 months for a summertime, but one of my closest friends, we still keep in contact, was one of my roommates. So
yeah, I definitely feel like that's also a really great time, because like, you know, you're moved out, you're becoming an adult and figuring out life, and just in like a perfect environment, because there's a lot of change and you're open to change. Yeah. You know, in a perfect environment to make new friends and connections and things like that. So yeah, I definitely had a lot of
maybe they're not close friends, but you have the friends.
Yeah. I think there was definitely at least from college for me, there was always kind of an understanding of like when you made connections with people that you were like, oh, you could kind of get the vibe of like this one's gonna last, versus like this one's really cool for now and we get along and stuff, but it's like, yeah, you know, when we move on, like we move on. Right. There's kind of those friendships, which I feel like are also fine. Yeah. You know, because that's just kind of the stage of life that you're in when you're in schooling or just starting out at a new job. You're moving around a lot, maybe like there's a lot of transition, and so that tends to make friendships very transitory. But that's okay. Like, I don't think you should avoid connecting with people just because I'm not going to live here for the next 20 years or whatever. Yeah. Like, that's okay. But yeah, making friends as adults is hard. It can be really hard.
I feel like it can be hard depending on who you are and your personality.
Yeah. Like if you're more reserved, especially in social settings, then it can be harder, because if you're not talking to people and interacting with people, then you're not really going to get to know people.
Yeah, unless, you know, you're mean, you don't really interact, and then people just are magnetically drawn to you. And
you're just so charismatic.
Yeah, you know? I just roll really high on my charisma, throws that, you know, people just they just flock to me. Yeah. No, that's actually a legit thing that I've noticed, though, because my dad has the same thing as people.
You have a really approachable personality.
I do. Like, even when I'm, like, really reserved and really quiet, I still feel like people will still be like, I'm going to go talk to her. Yeah. My dad's the same way.
You're really easy to talk to.
And then, but once I open up, though, I'm like, you can't get me to shut up.
No, that's true.
Is a problem.
That's very true. Yeah. That's true. And that's, I think, the thing to keep in mind, too. Whether you're more introverted or extroverted, like, you know, play to your strengths, right? If you're looking for friends. And, like, okay, if you know that it's hard maybe for you to initiate stuff, like, go to things anyway. right? Go to stuff anyway. Put yourself out there anyway. Just put yourself out there with people that are really good at initiating things.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, like, and I'm very much like, it depends on the situation for me and how I'm doing that day and how I feel about life that day.
That's very fair.
Yeah, because, like, I am particularly outgoing, unless I'm not. And then I'm not. But it just depends, you know?
Yeah. As I've gotten older, I think I've noticed I'm actually, like, I think I would consider myself, like, an introverted extrovert. Like, I saw an actual definition for that. It was kind of the same thing you're describing, too.
Yeah. Yeah. And it just kind of depends. And also, like, what situation are you in and how comfortable are you and that type of thing. But, like... there are ways of finding friends and making acquaintances, but it does require effort on your part.
It does.
Like some kind of effort on your part.
Yeah.
Like maybe the people at work suck or whatever, and so you're like, okay, I can't be friends with these losers. So you're gonna have to find some other outlet, right? Because where you spend your time and your energy, if there's other people there, you have potential to make friends. So if it matters to you to have friends, then go do stuff. Yeah. And I think that's what we struggle with a lot as adults, and also with our technology heavy society that we could talk about forever. There are so many ways to not go out and do things and not go out and meet people. And like maybe the people and the friends that you meet are online. I honestly don't think it matters, but if you're looking for human connection, you need to put yourself
out there. Exactly. Yeah.
And you can do things that you like, right? It doesn't have to be like, I'm going to go do this thing that I don't even like just so I can meet people. Dang it. Like, no, go do things that you like or something that you want to try. But do it on purpose to be like, I'm going to do this thing that I like, but I'm also going to try to meet people.
If you really want to, you can do something you don't like doing.
You could.
I mean, my roommates once, we went swing dancing.
Oh, I forget.
And I had never done that, and I'll never do it again.
Oh, wait. Was it Western?
It was Western.
Okay, yeah, don't.
Yeah, no,
I'm sorry to everybody listening who loves Western swing. I hate it. And apparently you do too.
I'm athletic in the sense that like sports come naturally to me, but as far as like dancing and stuff, I'm not.
Dancing's very different.
It's very different, and so like I danced with a guy that literally told me that I was too stiff to loosen up, and then he didn't dance with me again.
Oh, that's mean.
But he was like kind of nice about it. Like we were dancing, and he was like swinging me and everything. He's like, you just need to loosen up. And I was trying, but I was like, I genuinely don't know how to do this.
I've never done this before.
Like my coach tells me to loosen up. I know what that means, you know. Yeah. But then, like, for dancing, I'm like, nope.
You have no idea.
No idea. I mean, it was an experience.
It'd be fun.
And I met new people.
You did.
And you know what? I came, and I saw, and I conquered. At least my definition of conquered. And then I ran and never looked back.
Never looked back. We'll have to go big band swing dancing.
Oh,
and
no.
We'll do a class.
No, Katie.
We'll do a class. It's so fun. It's so fun. It just, the beat, everything, it's so fun. Well, we could beat this question to death, but let's roll another one and see what else we talk about. 15. Dang, we're doing good. What was your go-to activity with your friends as kids? What about now? All right, guys. I'm old. All right.
But not really. You're older than me.
That's true. It's not hard to be older than you, though.
No, it's not.
So we had, like, video games and stuff, but not until I was, like, a teenager. And part of that was because, like, our parents were like, we're not about that life, which was fine, honestly. So, most of my childhood time with friends or otherwise, like with my siblings, was outside or around the house, like playing with toys or just with my friends. We pretty much our go-to became essentially like playing imagination, like in the yard, you know, whether it was like with our toys. So was deeply obsessed with horses as a kid. Still am, so, you know. But, you know, we would have our little horse figurines and we'd take them on little adventures out in the yard, you know. Or as we got older and we figured out, like, oh, like, we could pretend to be the characters that we see in these movies that we really like, or these books that we all read. Like, when Harry Potter came out, all we wanted to do was pretend to be little witches and wizards. We made little wands out of sticks. You know, I had my mom, I think we've talked about it before when we talked about the Halloween stuff, but my mom's really good at sewing, and she made us like cute little robes, you know.
Your mom is the best.
She's so cute. And so, yeah, like when Harry Potter was a thing and we were all reading the books, we were all just like obsessed. And so, yeah, of course, we were gonna go be little witches and wizards. And fighting the Dementors and stuff. Like, just out in the woods, in the backyard, you know. It was great. It was so fun. So, yeah, any new obsession would basically, like, turn into our pretend games.
Oh, absolutely.
Outside. And that was, like, standard across the board. Like, and we would do plenty of other stuff too. Like plenty of other stuff, but like our go-to thing, the thing that we were most looking forward to all the time, was like the next time we got to pretend to be wizards, or when the Lord of the Rings first was a thing, getting to be elves and dwarves and heroes, you know, with our sticks fighting the orcs. Or, like, man, the original X-Men movies, we loved those.
Oh, the X-Men
movies.
I loved X-Men growing up.
We definitely had our, like, mutants that we were like, oh, these are what we were going to be. And it was great. It was great. I had so much fun.
That's a good time as a kid.
Yeah. So, we did a lot of that.
I would say that's, I mean, almost identical to how my childhood was, too. Even though we did have my parents, like, I think because of their generation not growing up with any type of, you know, gaming console or anything, like, they you know, they wanted us to be more of like the outdoor type kids, and not they didn't want us to be engaged in like the video games and everything, and so we were
there's a balance, right?
There's
definitely a balance to be had.
I think my parents were just worried of what we would grow up to be, like if we were just stuck on video games all the time. And so like we had consoles, like we had a PlayStation, we had a Wii. I remember one Christmas my parents got us a Wii. And then we were always limited on how much we could play, but the majority of the time we just wanted to play outside anyways. I also feel like growing up with that, like at least in my household, like with there being 4 kids, because there's 4 kids in my house, like, and if you wanted to play a game, like it just wasn't, like you didn't really want to share, and so like it was if you wanted to get everybody involved, it was easier to just go outside and do something,
or play like
rather
a board
than
game or
sit,
a card game.
rather than sit and watch someone play a game, or try to, you know, share the games. And so it was just easier. And then like you said, like everybody on your street, we're all friends and everything, and so like going outside and doing something was a lot easier, and you had a wider imagination and a more extensive imagination that, you know, you could make anything fun. Anything fun.
Literally anything.
Yeah. And then our neighbors, we had neighbors that were to the left of us, so like across the street to the left, and then we had neighbors that were in like across the street in front of us. Both neighbors had pools.
Oh,
so like in the summer times, like pool parties like the one mom of one of the kids with the pool, she worked graveyard shifts.
Oh shoot.
And so she would sleep during the day. We'd always bug her to go play in her pool with her kids. And she hated us.
I bet. I mean, like, now as an adult, like, I get that vibe.
Oh, I do too.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But
that's cool. Dang, you had 2.
We had 2 pools, yeah.
That was a rare novelty. For us. The like closest pool was either like the community pool, which we would sometimes go to, or one of
That
my
was like a
cousins.
rare occasion though to go to the
Yeah.
community pool
It was
though.
like once or twice maybe in a summer, unless you were doing swim lessons or something.
Yeah.
We would go to the lake more often than, because the East Coast, there's a lot of
a lot of lakes, yeah.
There's a lot of
There's
water.
a lot of water.
Why would I go to the community center and pay for it when I could just take my kid to the pond?
Yeah.
You know?
We went fishing in a pond a lot over by
fun.
my house. It wasn't good fishing, but it was sure
No.
fun. We rode our bikes a lot too as kids with all of our friends.
We would ride bikes. We had scooters. We rode bikes.
We had scooters, bikes, no skateboards.
No.
But
We had a couple friends that would do skateboards, but I was always scared of them.
oh yeah, me too. My parents wouldn't let us do anything like that because it was too dangerous.
Skateboards. Rollerblading was like the thing. That was when you knew you were cool. Is when you
could rollerblade.
Like compared to now, like my go-to activity now, it depends on the group of friends because I have like different groups of friends that our go-to activity or what we do together as friends is based on the group, right?
Right.
I have my D&D friends, right? Mm-hmm. And what do? We play
D&D.
D&D. And like we'll change it up and sometimes like take a trip together to go play D&D or like go meet up and have dinner and then play D&D, you know? And then there's a few groups where it's like, okay, we also play D&D, but we'll throw in like other game nights or movie nights or things like that. And then I have friends like that our go-to is kind of like, they're my hiking friends.
Yeah.
You know? They're the hiking buddies, which I feel like everybody needs a hiking buddy. Like,
I
it's so fun.
100% agree.
Yeah, it's so fun. Because, like, I really like hiking, and I feel like there's plenty of trails that I can just go on. But I'm also, like, a single girl. And there's certain trails...
It's a lot safer if you go with someone else,
There's certain, like, deep wood trails, or if I've never ever been on a trail before and not, like, scoped it out, I'm a little more hesitant to be like, oh, yeah, I'm just going in. Call me a coward, but I'm a little more hesitant to do certain things as just a single woman out in the woods.
I don't think that's a coward, because I would 100% agree with you.
So yeah, now mostly the activities that I do just depend on like what group or what friend am I doing it with. But yeah.
Yeah. That's same for me. I have the D&D group friends. Mm-hmm. The friends I probably spend the most time with besides you. Besides you and Jessica.
I don't think you can count people that you work with as spending time together as friends.
No, but I mean, like,
work.
outside of work,
That's
though,
true.
we still spend a good amount of time together. But my closest friends, they're a married couple, and I met them in high school, but I hang out with them a lot. And,
that's nice.
We've done lots of things together. We go snowboarding, we go shooting a lot, like, a lot of outdoor activities.
Yeah.
And she's pregnant now, so she can't do a lot of the things that we used to do, but we went to Topgolf a couple weeks ago. Just like...
That's fun.
I don't know. And
little adventures.
And being surrounded with good friends like that, like, really makes a difference, I've noticed, too. Because I was in a toxic friendship a couple years ago. We've talked about this. But, I really noticed it. I mean, when you're in a friendship like that that's so toxic and so bad, like, you don't realize how bad it is until you're out of it. And you're like, oh, my gosh.
Like, whoa.
And so, like, being uplifted with, like, good friends, like, really makes a difference. And so, they're really good friends.
Aww. Well, would you like to roll the dice again?
I would love to.
I think we have time maybe for one more question.
Yeah, let's roll a different. I landed right on
8.
8.
Ooh. Would you rather have a large number of friends you're kind of sort of close to, or just a few that you know very, very well?
That's an easy answer.
Yeah.
A few that I know very, very well. Because I'm more of a quality person over a quantity person. Mm-hmm. And so, like, one of my love languages is quality time. And so, like, getting a really deep connection with a friend means a lot more to me than having a large number of friends.
Yeah.
And, like, acquaintances, you know. Because I enjoy the like I said, with my close friends, Cody and Rachel, like, I really enjoy spending time with them because of the bond that I've created with them over the many years that I've known them.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like, for me, this is a difficult question because there's pros and cons to both. I like people. I like getting to know people. I like spending time with people. I feel like as long as I'm not dying, then I love like large group get-togethers and stuff. Like I love that. But I also really like this, like the one-on-one thing of like, oh, we get to sit down and have tea. Like that's great. But I love the feeling of like I just have this group that I can, like I have my people who will be like, hey, do you want to go on a hike tomorrow? Or like, hey, let's go hit up a movie after work, or that I can just call and talk to whenever. And I have so many of them that it's just like, well, if this group's flaky, then I just go for this other group.
Yeah, I wonder who that really sounds like, yeah.
But I love having a large quantity of people that I'm connected with. And for me, I'm never like done looking for friends. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
Literally anytime I go somewhere new, especially if it's more of a social setting, I'm looking to make friends. Like I am looking to get to know someone, exchange phone numbers, and just chat and like get to know people and potentially do stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, all the time, constantly, all the time. And like it's not necessarily like because I'm looking for a really, really close connection. It's just I'm just looking for a connection. And in the same breath, having the deeper connections, you know, the ones that have been around for a long time, the ones that you can really rely on, kind of fall back on, like that's super important to me too. So it's a hard question to answer.
It is. I mean, in that sense, because that fits your personality so well, though.
I am.
And so like that I think the answer is perfect for you, like what you just described, because you're a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. But if I feel like the obvious answer, like if I had to choose, I would rather have a few very, very, very close friends than like nothing. Yeah. Right? But then it goes back again. It's like, well, what if my few very, very close friends are not available to go, I don't know, do an 11 p.m. burrito run, right?
Then you just go by yourself like me.
It's true.
Taco Bell runs at 2 a.m. with Erin.
Taco Bell obsession, man. And like, I am also very good at, because I also like doing stuff. Yeah. And I've gotten very good at just doing stuff because I can and because I want to. So there's that aspect, but there's definitely like a lot to be said for having just those friends that maybe you're not super close, but like if you text them at 10 p.m. and you're like, hey, do you want Taco Bell? Then they would be like, yep, I'm up, let's go. You know? That's what those friends are for.
No, that's what, my friend Cody and I, we frequent In-N-Out, and he's my In-N-Out buddy.
Yeah, see?
And so, yeah. But he's always down for it, but then even when he's not, this was going to be one of my question though, and you kind of answered it, is like, if you don't have those people readily available, are you one that you still go and do that thing, or are you like me and you're just like, well, I'll just not go then because I don't have someone to go? Oh.
I absolutely still go and do the thing. There are only a few things that I'm like, you can't really do this solo. Either because it's too weird, or I might not feel safe doing something solo. So like deep woods hiking or backpacking.
That's one where I would be like, there's absolutely no way I'm going to do that by myself. Even with my dog, I'm like, nuh-uh.
Yeah, I would never. Now, I have absolutely traveled a ton by myself. Yeah. But never where I felt uncomfortable. And everybody has their own, like, comfort zone. So there's, like, that thing of, like, okay, I may or may not feel safe doing this alone, so I'm not going to do that. But then there's other things where it's like, okay, I may want to do this thing, but it's weird. There's, like, a weirdness factor that it's like, I don't know. So, like a sit-down restaurant, I don't think I would ever go to a sit-down restaurant by myself, unless it was something like a cute little breakfast bar or something where it's kind of designed like you could easily like come and go and like sit by yourself. Yeah. Like if it's something like easy and pretty casual, whatever. But if it's like a nice sit down restaurant where all of the tables are designed for you to have a friend there, no. No, I would never do that.
I've done that once.
Oh gosh.
I went by myself and I was like, this is so awkward, but I was
Yeah.
like, this is so much fun though too.
Yeah, and I think, like, the things that I'm like, ugh, I don't know if I would do that. I think if I did it, I would get over myself.
I mean,
But,
speaking of
yeah.
making friends, though, that is a way to make friends, is to sit by yourself as someone like that, because people will come and talk to you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, people would come up and be like, do you want to join us? And I'm like, oh, no, I'm good. Like, I'm fine.
I mean,
but, like,
yeah.
good way to make acquaintances with people.
That's true. That's true. I feel like you start getting, like, maybe pity cards, especially if you're at, a restaurant and people are like, hey. But you might be able to then strike up a really great conversation with your waiter. So that might be kind of fun. But, yeah, there's not a lot of things, though, that I feel like, I wouldn't do. Like, I've gone to Renaissance fairs fully by myself. I have done Comic-Con, like, fan acts and stuff fully by myself. I've got, like, so many movies by myself.
Movies, but
movies
I feel
are
like
so easy
I feel like the Renaissance Fair and Comic-Con, because, like, there's so much going on and there's so many people to talk to. Like, I probably would be fine doing those kind of things by myself. Mm-hmm. But, like, other things, probably not. Like, I guess it just depends.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not a lot of things that I would feel like I couldn't do. Yeah, like I said, like, I've traveled, I've done cons, movies, hiking, so many hiking, going to museums. Oh, I freaking love it. I love it. Going to museums or zoos, especially when I moved to Michigan, I wanted to get to know the area really well, and so I just started going to places and doing stuff. Mm-hmm. And gosh, I had so much fun. It was great. Mm-hmm. There was such a fun, like, museum in Grand Rapids. I learned so much about Grand Rapids that I didn't know. Mm-hmm. And there were actually, like, quite a few zoos or, like, wildlife parks really close to where I was, which was so awesome. Mm-hmm. So, like, of course I went and did those things. Mm-hmm. And it was the fall when I was there for the majority of the time, so I, like, went to the pumpkin patch and got pumpkins. And,
right.
Did all the things. So, yeah, there's not very many things that I would do and hesitate because I didn't have somebody. I would just go. Like, why not? I'm here. Why not? I did a road trip for, like, a weekend. I got an Airbnb and did a road trip up to one of the national parks. Was it a national park? It might have been another state park. There were so many of them. Mm-hmm. But there was, like, this cute little town in the area, and I stayed there for, like, the weekend and just did a crap ton of hikes. I found one of the best, like, little chocolate stores I've ever had.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was so great. But, again, like, the whole time I still had a blast, but I would still have little moments of, like, man, I wish so-and-so were here because we could talk about this. Or, like, man, this chocolate's so great. I really want to share it with
someone.
So-and-so.
Yeah.
I still would love to go back to that state park with people to be like, look, guys, like, look at it.
Look it.
It's pretty. Like, so, as much as it's like, man, I want to have friends or oh, blah, like, still go do stuff. Still freaking go do stuff, man. Like, what? Go. Because also, like, if you don't, you're not going to make friends.
Yeah.
Like, I think of, like, that trip that I took. The first day, I did the longest hike. And then I did shorter hikes all the other days. Because I spent all day driving. And so I was like, I need to get my steps in.
Right.
It was a great hike. But, oh, man. Oh, I should have done the long hike at the end when I was going home. But I met this mom and daughter that were there at the park and doing this hike, and we hiked the whole way there and the whole way back together and just, like, chatted it up. She was, like, from Texas. They were, like, on a business trip or whatever, and the mom just, like, brought her daughter.
Oh,
because
nice.
she thought it would be fun because they'd never been to Michigan before, and it was like, oh my gosh, I just moved here. Like, where in Texas are you from? Like, we had such a great conversation. Don't remember their names. Right?
That's how it goes.
Yeah, but, like, it was so fun. And I never would have, like, met them.
Sure.
If I hadn't have gone.
Yeah.
I went to Yellowstone for, like, a 4 or 5-ish day trip and went glamping for the first time. I have previously been very judgmental of people who go glamping, and now I'm like, nah, that was the way to do it. It was so
You're like, that's the way to go.
It was so nice. I had Wi-Fi the entire time, but I wasn't it had such a vibe. Like, oh, I loved it. And there was this couple from the UK. They had come over, and I think they were doing like a road trip to go meet with somebody in California. And they had like flown in, and they were driving across the U.S. and seeing all these big places, and they stopped at Yellowstone.
That's a crazy road trip right there.
Yeah, dude. They were like, yeah, we've been traveling for over 6 months. I'm like, what the...
Holy...
what kind of job do you guys
have?
Yeah,
for real.
I really should have asked them about, like
what do you do in your life that you're able to do this? Like, I can't even take 6 days off of work without it being detrimental.
That's the coolest thing I've ever heard of. But it was kind of the tail end. Like, they had 2 or 3 more days, and I had just gotten there, and every night the site had like a big bonfire that you could all come and toast marshmallows or make hobo dinners and sit around the fire and kind of get to know your fellow campers. And so that's how I met them. And so every night we would like catch up on like the hikes that we had done, the stuff that we would see, and we would recommend stuff to each other. And I'm not super familiar with the area around Yellowstone, but they were telling me about the drive that they were going to take down towards the Grand Canyon and then across to California. And so I was like, oh, this is great. Like, you should stop at Zion's. You should go here. And they had a cat, not with them, but so like
that would be great if they had a cat with them.
But no, so we bonded over like, oh, they have a pet cat, and oh, they also have a pet snake, and I have a pet snake. So we just like bonded over these things. They were like the cutest couple. They were so nice. They were so cool. And, then they just kind of went on their way. I went on my way, and it was fun. But, yeah, like, I did that whole trip solo. But I got to meet
really cool people, yeah.
Some really cool people. And there were, like, hikes and stuff around Yellowstone that I would chat it up with some of the cute old people that were going to see all the like, geysers and stuff. Like, there was just some fun moments.
Yeah.
There were some really fun moments, but... Yeah, there's not a lot of things that I wouldn't do alone, but some of the highlights of those things have been connecting with people.
And I think that's a good moral to think about, is if you don't have people to go do stuff with, like if you go by yourself and like you have an open mind, you can meet people.
Yeah.
And socialize. I think that's the biggest thing, is just socialization.
Yeah, yeah. Like, the reason why I wanted to talk about this was because of that study that had come out about how there's just this endemic loneliness that people are struggling with. And, like, I don't know if it's because of the nature of my personality, or just how I've chosen to live, but, like, I'm not struggling with that.
I don't really struggle either with that.
No, but, like, and I think it's because I've made choices, whether it was consciously or not, to get out there and connect with people.
Yeah.
Whether I was doing it to form friendships long lasting or just to like connect with people, And like, I think that's honestly like the moral of the story of like building, cultivating, and having friendships is like put yourself
out there, yeah.
Where you can do that, where you feel comfortable doing that. Maybe that's going to stretch you a little bit, but be willing to like freaking say hi.
Yeah.
Just say hi. Just like talk to people. Just ask them, like, oh, what brought you here to Yellowstone? Oh,
right.
Just like, you don't have to travel to Yellowstone to make friends, but like, just go places. Just
people
things.
You interact with.
Hi.
I like to engage in conversation with people at work too, with clients and stuff. I like engaging in some conversations with them. Like,
it's nice.
It is nice, yeah. Like when people are like, oh, we just moved here from out of state, and I'm always like, oh, well, what brought you here? Where did you come from? Yeah, exactly. And
like,
so like,
how's that going? Like, yeah, just talk to people.
Yeah,
people want to talk. People
do.
Want to connect with other people.
Whether they know it or not.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, like, apparently, according to this study, we're all deeply lonely. And so, honestly, once you get them talking, you probably won't be able to get them to shut up.
Just like me.
I know. Well, this is all we have time for today. But thanks for coming and sharing this magic tea with me.
Thank you for having me. The tea was actually really, really good.
There's still more. I'm gonna drink more once we're done recording, but Thanks for joining us, guys. I hope you can find some new friends in this new year, and we will talk at you later.